Hello, Scrappy friends, and welcome to day 5 of our Scrapbooking Summer School. Thank you so much for joining me. I've had so much fun this week coming on live every day and doing something related to scrapbooking. So we completed 3 double page layouts this week, and we had one day where we talked about building embellishment clusters. So I think we've gotten a lot done so far today. And if you haven't noticed, this is a recorded video for day number 5. I really wanted to come on and do a tool time extravaganza for you today. And I just kept thinking of this one punch, which is the Scalloped Crochet Border Punch. And it's really the only one that Creative Memories has released in the last couple months since our last tool time. And I didn't have any other punches I wanted to mix in with that. So I have already done a video with using the Scallop Crochet Punch, and I posted it over in my VIP group. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to show you that video because there's a lot of great information in there and some great ideas on how to use the Scallop Crochet Border Punch. I hope you enjoy these ideas. And so without any further ado, let me go ahead and just roll the tape. Here I have it already punched out. When I'm looking at this, I just wanted to mention what I would use it for. I see baby layouts with this. I see wedding. Even some vintage layouts would be great. It has that light, airy feel with plenty of texture, and it's going to be one of those universal punches for me. When I first was looking at this, I saw some seashells in there, and I used this on a sun-soaked project I was working on, and it reminds me of seashells. I just tucked in this part under here and the rest looked great. Then I'm also thinking you're going to see this come back around when I get to my new patriotic pages, when I use the All-American Blast, the new set that just came out. I see this as a ruffle, doing it in red, white, and blue, and then having it as a ruffle. Off the black and use this piece first. Going to trim it at 1.5 inches. I'm going to bring in some colored pieces of pattern paper. I'm going to cut a purple and a yellow. I'm going to do each of them at 1/2 inch. And I just picked these 2 colors because I felt like they had a lot of contrast. And then what I did is I just ran some adhesive down at the bottom. Now I feel like it's kind of broken up into sections. So we have this part down here, and then with the little diamond things, and then the part that kind of looks like a seashell to me, and then the lacy bit at the top. So I'm going to take the purple and flip it over, and if you line it up with these little diamond openings, you'll see 1/2 inch fits pretty good, almost perfectly, like they might have planned this. There you go. Now let's add the yellow piece. And that yellow piece I'm going to add to the next section, or the part that I think looks like the section. Now you can really see it. So it really almost looks like stained glass to me, but we can make those any colors to match your layout. In fact, this would make a good patriotic one too, because you can do one in like white and then add red and blue behind. So we're going to do some experimenting when it comes to the patriotic. Add 2 of these on a page, one on each side, and you got your double page layout already started. This next one is going to get a little bit messy. So if you haven't heard yet, Creative Memories is going to start bringing in some inks to their line, and probably you will see these around the fall or maybe closer to the end of the year. So we did a test kit, and this is what they sent us. They sent us blue and yellow. So I have been playing around with these, and I'm just absolutely loving it so far. I'm going to enjoy the inks when they finally get here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the yellow, and I dip my brush, and then I like to tap it off. A viewer recommended that. And then I'm going to just kind of swirl it around and try to hit just the top part where the lacy part is. And you just keep going until you think it has enough for whatever your liking is. There we go. Now I want to come back in with some blue. I'm going to come down here to the bottom portion. That's kind of the idea. Let's put it onto the black. I think we could see it really nice. You see how pretty that is? Now, I probably would take my time and come down here and get a little bit more, but look at that. We can just change this up according to whatever our photos are, or our theme of our layout. But super pretty is creating texture for your page. So I'm starting with a 3-inch piece. I'm gonna bring my board in so you can see a little bit better. I'm just going to punch it out like normal. This one has a lot of bits that will fall out, and so I probably should be picking it up in between and getting it all cleared off. Okay, so now I'm going to take this 3-inch piece that I've done a border strip on one side, and I'm going to turn it around so I can punch it on the other side. So I'm just going to put my little sticky note as my extender so I can see where to line it up in the front there. Now it's too small, I won't get a good visual of it. So I use my sticky note. And here's what we get. A nice big chunk of laciness. And now you can take this and you can decorate on top. You can do our, adding color behind. There's so many things that you can do with this. This alone, I think, just adds so much texture to our layout. And what I would do is I would cut it up, and I would probably use it for embellishment bases. And then I would use this to add some embellishments on top, maybe poking out behind a journaling box, maybe behind a photo. Just a little chunk goes a long way. These are the ways that I have already been playing with this and came up with. I hope that you could get some use out of it. I did want to mention one last thing, and that is some punches you might have already in your stash that look a lot like this or can be used for the same ideas. And that would be the lace trim border punch, and that was from about 2019. And then there's also one called the ruffle trim, and it's a border making cartridge. It's mostly just this little part right here at the top there. But the border punch, the lace trim, looks very, very similar to this. So you may already have something in your stash that you can use. Well, there you go. I hope that you enjoyed learning all those new techniques and how different ways that we can use the scallop crochet border punch on our layouts. And I hope that you give some of those a try. So next week, I'll be off from Workshop Wednesday. I'm taking the day off because my family is coming into town and I get to see my grandbaby and make new special memories. So I'll be off doing that next week. And I'll be back the following week, which will be June 25th, and we'll jump right back into our Keeping Scrapbooking Simple series. So I hope you join me then. Until then, take care, everybody, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.